said he's gonna be dialing in, and so let's try to get those guys out of the hall and we'll get started here. Huh?
Well, where are they? That's right. And I got stuff to do yet. Oh, and Sven is. the meeting. I think. There he is. Oh, there he is. Just having a private conference. All right.
Yes. Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. Like to remind everybody that the City of Perry staff's core values are a strong work ethic, problem solving, community oriented, shows professionalism and integrity, is a team player, accountable, and a good steward. Could I have a roll call, please?
Mahler,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein. Yes.
Okay. They have a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Schott,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Klein. Yes.
Okay, got a shortest consent agenda today. It's the minutes of the May 24th regular city council meeting. One contract payment to Bolton and Mink for $31,166.60. Claims register and financials of $460,345.36, and no licenses or permits. Could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Roll call?
Klein.
Yes.
Wally.
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Okay, city administrators report.
All right, so I'll start off with a little update, but since the last city council meeting, I think just that week, the Perry Next group had a panel discussion that Wednesday. Pretty well attended, about 50 folks came and got some really good information, was just a good kind of update to the community. I think the best comment was from Tom Berkeren talking about all the work that's going on. You see a duck on a pond and it doesn't look like there's a lot going on, but underneath the water, there's duck feet going as fast as they can. So there is a lot happening and a lot of work going into everything, but that was also recorded and is on the City of Perry's YouTube page. So you can check there for it, or Chris could also. Oh, perfect. So go to the perrya.org and click on the Perry Next page right on the homepage, and then it'll be embedded on there. So,
Great.
and then there's also a pretty good Des Moines Register article. They had a reporter at that event, and they did a pretty positive outlook on what we're doing. Kind of related to, well, directly related to that with Perry Next and the Tyson closure here. The month is upon us. We've been kind of working with Bolton and Mink and then Joe Benish with the Ingenuity Company. He does some strategic planning things. He did our strategic planning last couple of rounds for the Greater Dallas County Development Alliance. So those Bolton Mink and Joe are putting together a scope to do some more in-depth strategic planning focused on our, kind of continuing our response, but then our recovery and revitalization efforts coming out of the plant closure and figuring out what we're doing next. So that will hopefully be on one of the next agendas this month. So that will be coming. Did have the chance today to go down to West Des Moines. West Des Moines and the Greater Des Moines Partnership every now and then bring in some site selectors. And their job is working with companies to figure out their needs for an expansion or relocation and help them find the best site that they can. So part of that, when they come to town, they do kind of panel forum discussion with some questions. So learned a lot about what site selectors are looking for right now and some of the important factors that go into the selection process, and also just some trends that they're seeing and things like that. So that was really great. Took some notes from that. Then the last thing I have, just a little update, because we don't have a pay request or anything on this agenda. Just a little update on the overlay project. Residential streets, that project is about 80% complete. And then as long as weather holds for us, they should be done with Willis looking at the end of next week, depending on weather. So they're getting close to having both of those projects buttoned up. And hopefully a more enjoyable ride on our city streets. So that's kind of my updates. Does anybody have questions?
I'm getting a lot of positive. Except that they don't like Willis being closed.
Yeah.
Well, it's short-term inconvenience, but
Yep.
all right.
Any other questions? Oh, Joseph.
Joe is with us.
Okay, Mayor, City Council comments. First thing I want to bring
Hello,
up
hello,
was,
Mr. Mayor.
went to
Sorry, I was
Memorial
on
Day
mute.
service out at
Hello, Mr. Mayor. Hello, everybody. I was on mute. Sorry.
And I'd like to thank the veterans that organized that and put it on. It was, could have been better attended, but there was a decent crowd there and it was a nice service. So did that. Don't want to steal anybody's thunder, but the Kids Fest this weekend was packed and a lot of kids, and it seemed like a lot of fun, and the weather cooperated just perfect for us. So that was really nice to see a whole bunch of people roaming around downtown. And then I just wanted to shout out to Andrea. You probably all heard the news that Ben's is closing, and just wanted to remind the public that if they don't support their local businesses, that things like this happen. And when that happens, then we don't have anybody to help support all of our local causes, such as Little League and Pee Wee soccer and high school sports and that. So please try to support your local businesses. And thanks to Andrea for all the time she put in down there. And I'm certainly going to miss Ben. So council, any comments?
I'm gonna miss that storm. Yeah, we need to give a shout out to Showtime Studios for the performance that they put on, the recitals that they put on Saturday as well.
Okay, we'll go to open forum. We omitted something from the council, supposed to add another item to the council agenda, so we're going to just cover it during open forum, but I'd like to let Lindsay come up and give us an update on the chamber activities.
Hello, Lindsay Pasuti, Perry Chamber of Commerce. Tonight I'm providing you with your annual hotel motel tax reports from the chamber. Usually we would do this at the end of the year. It's been a little different this year, so a little bit delayed in getting this report out to you. But just want to go over some highlights, and then kind of with that delay, went ahead and made some adjustments. So we changed our fiscal year to be October through September. So I went ahead and adjusted that for 2023. And then since we're almost halfway through 24, we've got some extra numbers in there to compare as well. So just as a recap, as you know, the intent of hotel motel tax is for the promotion and encouragement of tourists and convention business in the city and surrounding area. The chamber was a key player back in 2005 when we first got that passed. So to impose that 7% tax at overnight stays at both the Hotel Pattee and Super 8, beginning in January 2006. And then since then, the chamber has received 4/7 of what has been collected on a quarterly basis from the city. So for income, you see that at the top, broken that down for that 4/7. So you see each quarter for 2022, January through September in 23, and then the fiscal year to date for October 23, now through May 24. So I've tried to watch for trends over the years, but it's really all over the place, as Susie can attest to, seeing those numbers come in. So it's a little bit tricky to budget a little bit, but as you can imagine, the summer months are a lot more popular. The way that the hotel motel tax is collected, by the time Susie gets it and then sends it on to us, we're probably a whole quarter behind, but we can kind of track that anyway. So when you connect the dots there, you kind of see that adjustment, and I've noted that as well. So as I reported last year, the 2022 income is a little skewed just with a change of how that tax was collected and reported. But 2023 is now a bit more normal, and then actually looking back is pretty close to pre-COVID numbers. So I feel like we're getting back to normal for hotel stays. Before we made that adjustment for 2023, we were budgeting about 40,000 in income. And then as you can see, we've actually bumped that up to 50,000 for income for the chambers portion. So for then expenses, again, that fluctuates each quarter. And the chamber board made a decision in 2023 to change up a little bit what we do with some of those funds. Not so much what we do with them, but a little bit on how we assess those numbers. So before we were setting aside about 5,000 per quarter, regardless of the income. Now we're doing that based on a percentage. So for good or for bad, 40% of what is received is now transferred to the chamber's general account, just to assist with staffing. You can see that 2 quarters in 2023 were actually less than 5,000. So, you know, as that fluctuates, we'll adjust for there. But ultimately, we hope that that continues to grow to be a positive feedback loop. And just for some transparency, that 36,000 represents about 25% of the chamber income alongside membership, fundraisers, and sponsorships. And then that 16,800 of support into the general helps with about 25% of employee and payrolls expenses. So again, overall, the goal is to fuel a positive feedback loop. The work we do encourages the growth of these funds in order to continue to do more good work. So ultimately, that operational support helps us make it possible to do all the things that we end up promoting to attract more visitors and residents to come experience our great community. So the rest of the report is broken down into 2 main sections. We have strengthening community assets and then the promotion of community assets. Basically, we want to help tell our story and then promote what's good, but also deliver on that promise. So then as far as strengthening community assets, we do that in 3 ways. We have the hotel motel tax grants, educational tourism resources, and then some kind of special project, usually every year. Last year was a little bit different. We didn't actually administer those grants or take on a special project, but those funds are still set aside and available for future use. Also, we typically try to attend conferences like the Iowa Tourism Conference and the Downtown Conference, but it doesn't always work out to do that. So one thing for 2024, we're wanting to revamp that grant program. So really looking forward to getting that back on the books. And then as far as major projects, again, we took a little breather in 2023 just with new digital sign and updating the automatic locks at the depot. But with the completion of the connector trail, I'm really excited about possible new projects surrounding that. Some ideas that have been thrown out is possibly a bike repair vending machine at the depot, maybe a mural along the trail. We'll see what happens with that. We're in the middle of some strategic planning right now with the chamber, so we'll continue to kind of prioritize and set those goals, and that'll help guide what we do. So as you're comparing those columns, one thing I want to mention in 2024 as a new expense, we did get a co-op subscription to Arrivalist through the Iowa Tourism Office. There's a lot of interesting data to comb through there in terms of where folks are coming from, how long they're staying, day of the week, and then how long, just when they're coming and how long they're staying, basically. So you can kind of manipulate the data and really get into it if you're a nerd like that. But ultimately, this is going to help us determine the markets we want to tap into. So I'm really excited to look into that more. And then that'll kind of help shift some of our destination marketing efforts, both with the chamber, but then also our joint efforts with the city and also economic development. As for the promotion of community assets, again, that's helping tell our story and attract folks to come experience Perry. So we're doing that by amplifying some of our annual events, some of that statewide and regional advertising, and then enhancing the visitor experience. So it's important to maintain that presence in some of our regional advertising. So that's Travel Iowa, Central Iowa, Dallas County Guides, and then likely to be expanded again with more planning. As far as enhancing the visitor experience, we do maintain the Welcome Depot on the corner of First and Willis, which gets quite a lot of bike traffic. And as I mentioned, a couple of upgrades in the past and then also planned. And then we also are on an every other year schedule for updating and producing downtown maps in our community guides. So last year we produced our downtown map. This year we're producing our community guide, which will be printed this summer. All Perry residents will receive a copy in the mail, and we will also send out box loads to each of our visitor centers across the state. And then we'll of course have a stash on hand to distribute at businesses. And then as people request them, we get a lot of requests for employers as they are hiring. And I feel like that is a good testament that it's a great showcase of our community. Something to note, those printed guides are funded through member ads, but when we're mailing them out, we are using those funds for Hotel Motel. So overall, with a shift in our fiscal year, planning was a little bit off, and then also holding back a bit as we were starting to partner more with the city and economic development for joint efforts. But overall, we're looking forward to carrying over some of those projects into the new year and having some great use of that. As I mentioned, we're going through some strategic planning. So we do that every 3 years just to kind of define some of our goals and objectives. But just wanted to reiterate for destination marketing, our goal is to elevate awareness of Perry in outside markets in order to drive tourism with the objectives to promote Perry as a tourism destination, strengthen awareness of community events and activities, and support initiatives for visitor and new resident attraction. So we'll continue to do this with advertising, producing that visitor information, and hosting events. Any questions on any details?
Looks good.
Otherwise, you have the info and we're gonna keep on keeping on.
There you go.
Okay. Few quick notes, Farmers Market starts this Thursday and then Friday Fest at Patchy Park is on Friday. So. Almost.
Onwards and upwards.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go back to open forum. Anyone that would like to speak, they can step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and then you'll be given 3 minutes to address the council.
Hello, everybody. Misty Von Baron, 2409 Iowa Street, Library Director. And I just wanted to echo what Mayor Kavanaugh said about the Kids Fest. It was absolutely a huge success. We estimate over 1,000 people were in that downtown Railroad Street area this past weekend. Day was gorgeous. We were able to do it because we have lots of partners, including the Rotary, Fairway, Hy-Vee, lots of organizations within town. All of the media outlets were there, including, and also Chris, our own marketing person, and really excited to see the GoPro video that he had strapped on his daughter and went into the foam pit. So looking forward to seeing that. So I just wanted to say, I think we had a great start to our summer, and I think it's something that we really needed, and looking forward to making some improvements and doing a greater one on 2025. And then the second thing that I have is we have Library Board of Trustees, which we currently have 2 openings right now. One person is interested in staying on, but the other person is not. So if you're interested and you live within the city limits, then we are looking for somebody to start a new term on July 1st. So if interested, there's applications online at the city website. In addition, at our website, and there's also a form that you can actually come in and get read at the library. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Any other open forums? Okay, then we'll move on to old business. So item A is approval of pay application number 3 for Frog Creek Restoration. It's in the amount of $27,019.81 to Iowa Earthworks. Most of the north side of Harold Bailey Way near the tennis courts has been completed. We're at a 23.7% complete, and this has been reviewed and signed off by the project engineer who recommends approval. Could I have a motion, please?
I make a
Go
mo-
ahead.
oh, I make a motion, we pass approval of pay application number 3 for Frog Creek Restoration.
And I'll second that.
Okay, discussion.
Awesome. So you'll see that there's been a little bit more progress here in the drier weathers. Hopefully this week ahead holds out as well. They do have most everything buttoned up north of the bridge and they're pushing as they go south of that bridge there with the riprap and rock sections.
The high water levels kind of slowed you down, huh?
It did slow us down a little bit. So they're trying to get that cross vein in on the north piece. They got the base layers of it in with the higher water. They did slow up operations, shift downstream to keep working where they could, keep progress moving forward. And once water goes down, they're gonna finish that up.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Schott. Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item B, application of approval of pay application number 2 for the Iowa Street Stormwater Wetland. It's in the amount of $43,270.82 to Sandstone Management Limited. It's for the project out on Iowa Street. They are about 4% complete. And this has been signed off and recommends approval by the engineering. So can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass the approval of pay application number 2 for the Iowa Street Stormwater Wetland.
Okay, discussion.
So you'll see this one's had a little slower start, just with the material that they're working with. You'll probably notice if you've been out there, they are making a lot of heavier strides, moving dirt with the drier material. So that's going along smoothly currently. Hopefully we don't get too much rain tomorrow and they can continue on with that heavier progress.
The discussion? Roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott. Yes. Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Item C is resolution adopting the state of Iowa's Community Development Block Grant procurement policies and procedures. So this is the one for the where they have changed their terms and we have to update our agreements with the state to stay in line with their new requirements. So and the changes, well, the whole resolution was in the packet. You could have read it. So could I have motion, please?
I make a motion to approve resolution adopting the state of Iowa's Community Development Block Grant procurement.
I'll second that.
policies and procedures.
I'll second that.
Joseph, I think, said on the phone, so. Okay, so discussion on that one. Let's see. Carla, so,
I think
Yeah, she was at another meeting tonight.
okay,
So it's pretty standard. We have to do this, we do it maybe once every 2 to 3 years roughly.
Yeah.
So just updating to whatever the state has. for policies.
I think that's kind of generally, these 3 items is just kind of making that contract in line with what the state currently wants. And then the CDBG procurement will also be good for our downtown CDBG grant as well. So head of the ball game on that one.
other discussion? Roll call, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott.
Okay, on to item D. This is resolution approving amendment number 1 to the local planning and administrative assistance contract number BG 2223 with Region 12. Again, it's for the Nedger's property at 1306 Second Street. And basically, again, is just changing some of the wording of the agreement to bring it in line with what they currently want in their agreements. So could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass a resolution approving amendment number 1 to the local planning and administrative assistance contract number BG 2223 with Region 12.
I'll second that.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, and item E is a resolution authorizing an amendment request letter to IEDA for the Downtown Housing Grant Agreement number 22 ARPDH 046. So this is the one with Tin Pig at 1203 Second Street, and allows me to sign the changes. Basically, again, we're just asking for an extension because it took so long to get the bids in on that one that they don't feel they will spend all the money in time. So could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass resolution authorizing amended request letter to IEDA for the Downtown Housing Grant Agreement number 22 ARPDH 046.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other discussion on that one?
This is for the Tin Pig upper
Tin
story.
Pig upper story.
So, Carla stated because we also have, the city has a development agreement with the Sheffers that once this goes through IEDA, you remember 3-4 meetings back, we did an amendment between the city and IEDA, so there'll be additional amendments to our development agreement with Sheffers between the city and Sheffers.
But this extension to the end of the year is going to cover their needs.
I believe so. Carla's gonna.
Okay.
So.
We won't have to amend it again.
Hopefully not. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Waller.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Shot.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll move on to new business. This is a resolution approving job description and pay range for the administration clerk position in the city of Perry, Iowa. It's basically going to make it a shared position between the city administration and the police chief. They have been doing this for a little while back, even without the position being changed. Just for full disclosure, that was the position my daughter had, and she's no longer in that one, so I don't feel there's any conflicts in this with me, and I don't vote anyway, so. And then it's gonna come in with a pay range of $20 to $24 an hour. So could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass a resolution approving the job description and pay range for the administration clerk position in the city of Perry, Iowa.
I'll second that.
This is basically replacing Lori, right?
Yep, so I did forget, I should have mentioned that in my comments, but Lori Riley retired from the police department. I think the Friday before Memorial Weekend, correct? So much like Susie, she is retiring at 32 and had her years of service in, so I think she started about 4 or 5 years old, right, Susie?
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that.
So definitely want to thank Lori for all of her years of service between Perry and I think, did I see Adele in Dallas County as well?
Yeah.
So, definitely grateful for all she's done and wish her the best in her retirement that we all are yearning for, but, Anna moved up into Lori's position, and then Emily moved from the administrative assistant into the assistant records clerk position. So this is, we've been talking about kind of retooling this. As the mayor mentioned, Emily had been helping 2 days a week up at City Hall, just with phones and some other things. So this is just tweaking that job description to make that more official in the job description. And then still providing the duties that chief needs and giving us some extra help up at City Hall as well. So thanks to chief for getting this job description together and get it posted. So should be live tomorrow, and then we'll be pushing that out for advertisement. And also for, I think we have 2 police positions open as well. Begrudgingly getting ready for Eric's upcoming retirement this fall, but then another open position. So just getting ready for that. So if you can tell by the look on his face, he's not excited at all.
He's bouncing in his seat, you know?
Any other questions on that one?
Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Walling,
Yes.
Smaller.
Yes.
Yes.
Shot,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item B is a resolution authorizing a fireworks permit for J&M Displays, Inc. They've requested the permit on behalf of the Perry Chamber of Commerce. They're going to put on the display for the city, and due to our ban of fireworks in the city limits, we need to approve them to put on one display on the evening of July 4th as part of festivities celebrating Independence Day. And they do have a certificate of liability insurance on file. Motion, please.
Make a motion to pass resolution authorizing a fireworks permit for J&M Displays, Inc.
I will second it.
I'll second that.
Who gets it?
Okay, discussion?
So this is a every year thing, permit for the chamber for a, commercial display, fireworks, so, kudos to the chamber for always doing a great job with putting that together, and I don't even know how many years J&M has been doing this, but, they treat us well and put on a great display.
They do.
Another discussion? Roll call, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Smaller.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shot,
Yes.
Okay, we'll go on to ordinances. We have 3 to discuss today. This is the second reading on all 3. So item A is ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 165 zoning regulations. It's going to add a new district under 165.21, which is RT road dwellings and townhome dwelling district. We approved it first reading last meeting, so I would entertain a motion to move on the second reading.
I make a motion, we pass an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 165 zoning regulations.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion?
So we talked about this one quite a bit in our last council meeting, but just trying to modernize our zoning code to allow for a little bit more flexibility. And then also adding that townhome language that would allow individual ownership of townhomes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Smaller.
Yes.
Shot,
Yes.
Okay, since there was no discussion, I would entertain a motion to waive the rules and complete the third reading today instead of waiting until our next meeting.
I make a motion, we waive the rules and proceed with the third reading.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion? Roll call?
Walling,
Yes.
Smaller.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Shot,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, so I would need a motion to approve the ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 165 of the zoning regulations, third reading.
I make a motion, we pass an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 165 zoning regulations, third reading.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Smaller.
Yes.
Shot,
Yes.
Item B, ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 167, Plan Unit Development District, PUD. Again, this is the second reading. It changes the wording of the size of a lot for the PUD. We approved the first reading at our last meeting, so I take a motion to approve the second reading.
I make a motion, we pass ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 167, Plan Unit Development District, PUD.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
So as the mayor mentioned, pretty much, or the only change with this is previously the lot size requirement was 5 acres or larger to be able to do a planned unit development. So this is just changing that language to be a lot big enough to accommodate appropriate and adequate public infrastructure.
Say that last again.
With appropriate setbacks.
Yep. So not setting a specific size requirement to a lot, but stating that the lot has to be large enough to accommodate our public infrastructure, so roads and utilities. And then with PUDs, it goes through the same process as a zoning change. So that goes to planning and zoning. They have to have a full master plan. So public hearing and vote at planning and zoning, and then it comes to city council for public hearing, and then 3 readings of that zoning change and approval of that master plan. So nothing happens with anything without having a master plan that's been reviewed by city staff, engineering, planning, zoning, and city council.
So if I'm understanding correctly, what we're doing here is saying the lot needs to be an appropriate size for the project they're proposing.
Correct. Okay. Yep. So you wouldn't be able to, or probably would not be looked upon favorably to want to put a road and 6 lots on a 100-foot wide residential lot. We have a few that are, 3, 4, I think there's one I know of that's 4 3/4 acres that could accommodate a small neighborhood. But the way our code is written, it would prevent that from happening because of the strict 5-acre requirement. So just trying to make that a little bit more open to help with some of our larger lots that would accommodate infill.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Ball,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Platt.
Yes.
Okay, and again, don't think there was anything in our discussion that would prohibit us from entertaining a motion to have 3rd reading tonight on this.
I make a motion, we suspend the rules and proceed with 3rd reading.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mahler,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, and then we're going to go to an ordinance amending the code of ordinance, chapter 167, planned unit development district PUD, 3rd reading. Need a motion for that, please.
I again make a motion, we pass an ordinance amending the code of ordinance, chapter 167, planned unit development district PUD.
Second that again.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, and then item C is ordinance created a new chapter 141, special assessments for streets. This is the first reading of this one. So basically, it's going to be to allow us to do a special assessment for future infrastructure needs if they arise. And it's due to the increase in construction costs in our current economy. Feel this would help us to have some better options for doing some projects within the city limits than waiting for road use taxes and other such things to let us go forward. So could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to pass ordinance creating a new chapter 141 special assessments for streets.
I'll second that.
So this is something that staff came up with. What basically came about it was we did have some residents come to us that wanted 16th Street overlaid, which would be North Park Street in that area. It was gravel, and we basically did not really have a set assessment policy developed. So this is what came of this. The ordinance is one that Matt Ferrier, and he can comment. He had to take off if you have any specific questions, but with the overlay process that we did, some of the residents were willing to be assessed for it, but with the whole process of Des Moines, they came and did that. Now, we did have a resident out in that area that did donate an amount to assist in the funding for that, which I think probably drove to get that project done in there. So this is just future. The city's never been a real, I don't know that, have we ever assessed, Susie? Have we, but not typically.
North Sixth Street.
Okay, yeah, but typically, I mean, since I've been here, I can't really recall a time. It's just having that policy that if something did arise, it's ready to go, that, because in it, citizens can petition to have that done. Do you have any comments, Sven, further?
Just that this is, Matt, helped put this together from what other communities have as well. Again, it's not that we have projects planned or anything like that for assessments. But it's just something that is good to have on the books so that if the need does arise, like Josh mentioned, we didn't have any policy or mechanics to do an assessment for a road.
Well, the state has a process.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could have done it. I think this ordinance basically spells out how we go about with the calculations.
Right.
But there is, I mean, the state process, what I was saying.
Yeah. But yeah, so like Susie mentioned, having that policy of how things are split up, that was kind of something we were looking at, and then just move forward with 16th Street and decided to circle back to this so that we could finalize it. So again, just something good to have for us, maybe on future projects. Really not meant for just overlay projects as much as a more significant street reconstruction or something like that.
Makes sense.
Bless you.
So just a clarification for me, we didn't have a public hearing on this. Did we?
No,
No.
we don't have to. The
Okay.
only time you really have to have public hearings for ordinances is like anything with zoning. Anything planning and zoning normally requires technically 2 public hearings, or if we're selling property,
Yep.
and disposal, budgets. Am I missing any doing? It's the main ones. Yeah, real estate stuff, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
You say that there's a calculation for that assessment. How would that be calculated? Just say, give me an example, like the 16th Street, if they wanted to pay, each house would have to pay X amount. Is that what that's saying? Or is that?
So the policy, if I understand and remember correctly, it's really based on the classification of the road, the frontage that the property owner has, and then the value of the property. And that also comes from the state of how they go about that assessment process too. So it's kind of a mix of how it all goes together, but it's designed to try and be as fair and equitable as possible. Again, based on property value and lot sizes and things like that.
Okay. Excellent explanation. Thank you.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Ready? The other readings tonight, or we want to wait till the next meeting to have second and third reading on this?
Usually we wait one meeting and then
Do the second and third together.
People come and make comments if they didn't hear from us. Okay. If there's nothing else, we will adjourn.